Welcome back to the OPL 1-1 right now between Sin and the Bombers on your screen. Both teams looking to pick up their first series victory of OPL 2018. Interesting game, honestly.
Yeah.
Very back and forward between these two teams. Great early game control out of the Bombers.
Yep.
I mean,
then it just
pretty
fizzled.
shocking late game team fighting out of the Bombers as well, you have to say.
Yeah, I have to agree. Engages missed all over the place. Praetor doing tons of work on the lineup of Sin with that Vlad getting into the back line, wreaking havoc, and it just meant that the front line from Bombers could not stick their engages. They could not lock down the carries and just could not be enough to win from that early game advantage.
Yeah, and I mean, when you have a look at it, when you got a Callista that has so much control over neutrals, when you have things like the Cho'Gath, seems like you should be able to make it work, but by gosh, golly, that is a lot of damage out of Ezreal.
Yeah, the big thing,
Nearly
honestly,
double.
Cho'Gath is doing more damage than the Callista. So we're mentioning in Champ Select, Tiger on this more aggressive AD carry with Rosie on the engage. I don't think it was too effective, honestly, for the Bombers. I'd like to see them go back to the Caitlyn, to the Tristana, maybe even the Sivir. If they can get that matchup again, if they can play that Game 1 macro-style League of Legends, it looks like Sin did not have the answer, because when...
I actually can't believe Dream did that much damage.
Yeah.
That's a...
Yeah. Just hitting Cho'Gath
little bit of damage.
the entire game, just flinging Qs, you know, just...
Yeah, I mean, in a couple of team fights, like especially that one around Baron Pit, where he was able to actually chase down both Rosie and Tiger, obviously was doing a lot of work there, but I would have thought that Praetor was the person that was really wreaking havoc in that game.
I mean, like, that's kind of something you expect, though. Vladimir, when he goes in, it's like a big, oh my god moment when he lands that Hemo Plague, and so much damage ticks like that. But, I mean, Ezreal just landing good, consistent damage over the course of the team fight. Yep. Dream obviously doing work there on that pick. So, we're into Game 3.
Yeah, exactly right. Champions Select for Game 3 now up onto your screen. Bombers back on blue side. See where they do respect ban away anything like the Vladimir, or maybe even the Cassiopeia, which turned a lot of team fights as Bombers were looking to gain access.
Yeah, but I feel like it's a stylistic change that needs to come out of the Bombers. Not so much, I don't think any specific champion was too much to handle in the lineup of Sin. Maybe Vlad, maybe if the Cho'Gath counter they don't think is effective enough, maybe they get rid of something like that, or they just, well, I mean, they've already done it. They banned that one away, but I just think they need to go back to the Game 1 style. Don't fight Sin 5v5 randomly all over the map. Just don't do it. That's where they thrive. Just play that macro game. Just play around the side lanes, and that's how they're going to get their victory.
I mean, I honestly thought that was what they were going to do, because we saw Order do it last week. Play fast push, drag them around the map, never team fight them until they're 10,000 gold ahead. Get rid of all the ganking junglers, things like that. In Game 1, that is honestly what the Bombers did. To great success. So 3 games in a row, it proved that that is a way to beat Sin Gaming. Not saying it's the only way, but that game they went more of team fight comp, and it bit them in the bum. However, Varus, Vladimir, as well as Zoe banned away from the Bombers. Azir, Braum, Gangplank banned away by Sin, and it is going to be a blind Rise in the mid lane. Malzahar, only the real big mid laner left up and available.
So another Rise coming out of Luch, and we do see Sin respect ban that GP on both sides of the matchup now. Third game there, so Rise going to be the first pick. The Callista still is open again, so Sin not respecting the Callista out of Tiger. He played it last game. Wasn't too successful, I think, on part of him, but also on a part of Rosie. It's a 2-part champion there, I think, in my eyes, so... Sin didn't think that performance was up to scratch, and they leave it open again.
And Callista's one of those champions that if she starts dancing around and has her range optimized in teamfights, does a lot of work. However, you need protection to be able to do that. If people are able to just walk you down, you're rending early for the slow, you're not getting maximum damage out. And I think that that's what, honestly, we saw a lot that game.
If you're rending early for the slow, you are not doing any damage in a team fight. Absolutely not. That's everything. Especially, you were saying you don't build the IE, you do not have that crit available for the most part, so... If you don't build up those stacks, you can't rip them out.
And this was a combo that I honestly thought was sleeper what won the game. Grounded looked so broken, honestly, in those team fights where Cho'Gath and Sejuani were just milling around on Cassiopeia Miasma. Plus the engage that is just undodgeable out of the Jarvan actually was pretty potent.
Yeah, and I mean, it was also not just the 2, but also the 3. If you land that Cataclysm on multiple people, that means Praetor's job on the Vladimir is just so much easier. So, not going to have that one available there, but it just was so successful. Seb, going back to his trusty Zac.
He's one of those.
Do you know his name? Do you know what Zac stands for? I know this one.
What?
The Zorn Amorphous Combatant. And I can thank that. I can thank this random solo queue player that was just spamming it in my lobby for that one. That's the only reason I know it. Dream going back to Ezreal as well. That's going to be his 3rd game in a row in this series against the Bombers.
He's a big Ezreal fan.
He's a big blind pick Ezreal fan. He doesn't care what he plays it into.
I mean, he's playing against Tristana today. So,
no, you're right.
But in Game 1, he did blind pick it and got counter-picked with the Sivir. This time, a little bit more conservative. Shen going to be taken away as a support pick, you would most likely think. And see what else is hit here. You got any prediction? support bans?
Yep. Probably. Well, I mean, neither supports have been picked from either team, so it will be the pull pinch for here, but I mean, I do have to think that is going to favor Rosie, to be honest. I don't think he's that effective on the top tier picks. So once you get down to those majors, I think that's where he thrives. But in saying that, Kuden is also a player in the similar vein.
We're going to see
Soraka versus Jana. Here we go. Let's go.
Like, I was going to say, like, Trundle versus Bard is like my dream.
Oh,
for
yeah,
these
get
two.
the rapid fire going.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the Riven, actually, respectfully banned away from Sin.
Obviously, just didn't have another ban that they wanted to throw at it because they technically have counter pick, so that would have been a blind Riven. Maybe they want to counter pick support and make sure they're not in a situation where they're just shoved under turret, so they're going to give Praetor something like a Camille in this matchup.
I mean, I can agree with that logic. Honestly, they did blind pick the Ezreal game 1, and that is where they saw that Siva Morgana pick, so if they do counter pick that support, it means they do have more priority in the lane.
They get rid of
Bombers
Ornn.
can't go back to that same
strategy. I honestly
strategy.
think that if you had to pick between playing against Praetor's Ornn or playing against Praetor's Camille, I would probably take the Ornn 10 out of 10 times.
Yep. But I mean, there is the flex available, so it would mean that they would be able to pick that one up in place of this Gnar right here and then flex it both to top and support, so they would have had the counter pick. But yeah, Gnar picked up.
Yeah, very interesting because Swiper was like, it's just so strange that none of these teams are prioritizing Gnar. Obviously, they both play carries into it, so I wouldn't be surprised to see something like an AD cannon come out of either of these top laners. But it's going to be the Camille, which in the 2v2 absolutely destroys Gnar. In the 1v1, if Gnar is a good hopper, can actually dodge out of a lot of the CC.
Yep, can be very hard to actually get onto him, but if you do, you close that gap. You see a lot of times, actually, Camille, if Gnar mistimes it, you cancel that dash. Gnar is stuck. You don't want a mini Gnar just being around melee range to Camille, so
he can play Soraka here.
He actually can.
This is a good Soraka lane.
He actually can. Into the Jana. Soraka is one of those champions that a lot of people think about, and they're like, oh man, like, why are you playing that? As he's probably just going to go the tag. But I want to say this anyway. Soraka's a champion in my eyes. You need lane priority.
Yeah.
If you're playing...
You bully.
Yeah, you do. If you land a Q in a level 1 trade, you just all in. You burn, like, you take Ignite, you just run at them, you keep queuing. You do so much damage. The slow applies, your AD carry can keep up. So good. But Kuden, legacy Soraka player, does opt in for the Taric again.
Yeah, and I think Taric is also a good matchup here because still has CC for the gank setup with Jarvan, which is something you need into a Janna lane if you're going to kill the Janna. Not to mention the fact that if scaling equally, invulnerability in a team fight for seconds is just very strong.
Absolutely. So see if they can play around that one. I mean, Bombers engage is very committal, right? The Zack's going to go in and he's in.
Well, the reason I think it's very strong is because I actually think Bombers will play 1-3-1 here. They'll send Camille to a side lane, Rise to a side lane, and then if the engage fizzles out of Juves, you're like, well, there's nothing else. But if you have first engage with Cataclysm, blow him out, and then second engage with invulnerability, there's not really all that much they can do to stop it because it's not the best engage, but they still have to back away and respect.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of just sticking power, right? Because the reason you can't stick onto people is because you've missed the engage or it didn't quite stick, and then you just take a whole bunch of return damage. But if you're invulnerable, then that doesn't matter. So we'll see how that one plays out. I do have to know, I don't want to see him build Zeeks again. I feel like we haven't seen that be effective. It feels like it's not getting a lot of value in these team fights. You see Rosie playing the Morgana, playing the Janna. He's just rushing Ardent Sensor and then giving his AD carry so much attack speed. But on the flip side, you look at Kuden, he's like, okay.
Potentially it's because they're playing Ezreal.
Yeah.
Who's not a great Ardent AD carry.
Yeah.
And therefore, I think, you know, something like Locket or Redemption is much better.
Locket Redemption, go the old school standard support build. IMO, but...
Yeah, see how it works out. We're on Summoner's Rift. Game 3 between Bombers and Sin. Whilst we can critique item builds for as long as we want, we're a far way away from a 3-item support. So let's just break down the early game. Interesting lane here in the fact that Tiger and Rosie have finally swapped away from double spellbook and are going to look... I mean, they should be able to push in here, honestly. Double range, potentially look to break turrets. But I'm wondering if they can do that in the standard 2v2, because we haven't seen them really take over a laning phase yet against any opponents, really.
Yep, you're exactly right there. Rosie did opt in for the Ignite, though, so I assume he's going to do the old airy W start on Janna into the melee matchup. That does a significant portion of damage. She's going to walk up to Kuden, whack him a few times, and then hit him with that W, airy procs, and then you have actual legitimate kill pressure in a Janna lane, but... as you mentioned, historically have not been the most aggressive. Yeah. So, see if they can pull it out.
So maybe both teams just going to look to play topside of the map. Dream and Kuden would be more than happy to scale in this matchup. With gank assist, can have some kills. As we see Sleeping and Praetor butt heads with each other. Sleeping wins that trade out very hard.
Very hard. The shield from his passive coming through Trump there blocks some of the damage from that boomerang as Praetor's just going to wander back to lane. will get first access, though, because he doesn't have to leash his jungler. Jungler starting on opposite sides of the map.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a big giveaway right now. Juves can say, all right, cool, I'm going to really hard camp top side of the map because Seb shouldn't be there, and if he is there, he's not going to have a red buff, which is so much of Zach's early game damage, to be honest.
But something I have to note, in Order's fast push game, this is exactly what we saw. We saw the opposing jungler start bot side and end up on the top side of the map, whereas Bombers, Seb, will end up on the bot side of the map here. Tiger and Rosie will have lane pressure, you have to think. Be able to spell fling under the turret, do a lot of damage, and maintain that pressure. We were saying Taric, not very useful when he's sitting under his turret, can heal every now and again, but the reason he does build tier is because he has mana problems. So if they're taking a bunch of damage under their turret without the option to reciprocate, it's going to chew through that very quickly.
And would be interested to see what Rosie's actually skilled up in this bottom lane, therefore, because if he's gone W into Q, that's exactly what you can expect to see. You see both wards go out straight away.
Scared of the level 2 gank from Jarvan, or level 3, honestly, you must have to say, because warding for the bottom-hand side of the map, they know that Juve started down there. You assume he's going to path away. The only other option he has is to level 2 gank a bot lane, but he's actually going to see Seb right now.
Yeah, exactly right.
Things go
Seb,
out.
honestly, no red buff. Juve can just say, okay, I'll take an equal recall, meet your bottom lane.
Yep.
Cassiopeia is pushing into the rise, or he can say, you know what, this is fine by me, let's stick top side, and bottom lane, you're safe enough for the time being to just continually farm out.
Yeah, this is a very defensive start from the Bombers, as you mentioned. The bot lane used their priority in lane, not to get any advantage in the 2v2, but to ward for Seb to find out where that jungler was, but what ends up happening, Juves hops over a wall, says hello, walks away.
It's going to be 2 camps up as well over Seb. I feel like this is a couple of times in a row where Seb's pathing has been
confusing.
really questionable.
Absolutely. Already behind, despite no influence on any single lane so far. Mind you, we're only 3.5 minutes in, but you have to say this is already a lead for Juves.
Yeah. I mean, and jungle league should snowball.
Yep.
Jungle is a position where if you get ahead in farm, you can either invest it into someone else. We talked about this a lot yesterday. Or you can just take it yourself, as Shern is known to do, and just continually out-scale, out-trade, out-farm your opponent, because the earlier you get those jungle items, the easier it is for you to just put the jungle. It's a snowball roll.
Yep. Juves, obviously an investment banker here of the two, because he's looking in this top side.
It's not going to bounce all that well, however. You see Dream actually going forward onto Rosie. That's a boatload of damage.
Yeah.
Didn't see how that trade started.
Yeah, that one hurts. You have to think maybe a stun landed out of Kuden. They got access to... Oh, actually, Juves is in range for the EQ. Can he land it?
Yeah, Ingo's sleeping. They're trying to actually
Debating
get the hop, and they get it. So Ingo's Juves flash, however. See whether he follows. No, he's just going to keep applying red buff. And Praetor, as long as he just hits a boomerang here, should be able to get it. Ingo's Juves will be able to pick up first play. Gives it over to his top lane. Investment banking comes up trumps today.
Absolutely. That's going to be a nice little payout for the Sin on the top side of the map. Praetor gets that kill as well in the 1v1 already. 10 CS ahead, also going to be able to push that wave in. Sleeping has TP to get back to lane, but Seb is looking for a cross map here. He's looking to get a gank onto the bot side, but they're just going to base.
Tristana wasn't in the lane, already going back. Double dagger, by the way, is not the fast push build that you want to go.
I mean, not to mention, if you're talking about gank assist, Janna is not your first pick.
Flash NATO.
Yep, the floor NATO. But didn't even come out, Luch.
Missed time.
Yeah, unfortunately, dematerialized his AoE minion there. Yikes.
So no, what he wants to do there is, if you dematerialize and get the E on it perfectly as it's dying, it actually spreads it.
Oh, okay.
So it's how you hard shove, but he just mistimed the combo. I've seen him do it a couple of times properly, but that time, a little bit of a whiff. Obviously, used TP, so he's a 5 CS lead up at the moment, but not all that much to write home about.
A lot of tiers in this game. We have the mid lane on both sides there, and Ezreal, of course, opting in for that mana. He has the tier and the cull. Talk about Sin investment banking. That's a big buy-in.
Certainly is. Dashes forward still, looking to be aggressive onto Tiger. Tiger is going to get some good damage onto the turret this wave because Cannon Creep will be there completely unharassed. I was actually wanting to see Kuden take minion dematerializer to stop this, because this should be a satchel as well as 2 or 3 autos, but they don't go for it. Very interesting out of the Bombers lineup, because now, honestly, they can't spell fling at this stage.
Well, I mean, the Tornado is burnt. The proactive Tornado comes out of Rosie, which means that Kuden, if he does actually step up, Rosie doesn't have the tools to keep him away, so Tiger would have to burn that W. Doesn't want to be in that situation, so they do actually back away there. And as you mentioned, the dematerializer, I'm not sure it would do all that much in the hands of Taric into this matchup, to be honest. Taric's not one to influence the wave too much, especially at a range disadvantage, so...
Yeah, I mean, just on the crash, it seems like a way to, you know, make sure that they're not on turret for the big creep waves.
Yep.
I don't think you ever outwin the push.
Yep.
Definitely not.
And I think that's actually pretty interesting, right? We've seen kind of dematerialize it when it was first picked up on champions, sort of like Natalia, to benefit
To
her
win
already
more.
good,
Yeah.
her already good pushing power. But nowadays, especially on support, you don't expect supports to actually be hitting the wave. So you see it on the alley because he wants to roam more. So he can be like, okay, this wave we're going to get the push, and I'm going to walk away. So as you say, yeah, Kuden could have been like, okay, this wave we don't want to be stuck on a turret.
And I think Ornn was the biggest proponent where we saw that, right?
Yep.
Where Ornn top lane is like, generally I get pushed in by everyone, I sit underneath my turret, I take a boatload of harass, and then all of a sudden Ornn's were like, well, I have a really good gank mid lane, so if I take Dematerializer and I get there, then I can actually have an impact that isn't just being shoved out of the turret. It's the reason I built it on Malphite when I just play normal games. Not normal games, like ranked games, not OPL games, obviously.
You don't like normal games, man?
No, I don't like normal games.
I'm the same. I just play solo.
Yeah. As
Oh,
we get the
stun
stun
lands,
out,
Dazzle.
and we'll see whether they go for any additional
Oh,
damage.
flash.
Actually dashing in,
Oh,
looking for the
oh.
first blood. Q
Oh.
does not land. You see Tiger wants in
Does he get
front
the
of his
auto?
80 carry.
Oh.
And Dream?
Questionable stopwatch there. The next
it
stun
certainly
does
is.
not
However,
land.
Juice is here, doesn't go for anything major. Potentially a dive could happen. Dream, that was a bad stop.
That was, yes. I was going to say very confusing, but bad. Three-letter word. Very descriptive for that situation right there. You have to question that one. Rosie obviously had more than one auto's worth of HP, so he wasn't able to get that one, and then bit of a yikes on the turnaround. Used a lot of matter and a lot of resources on the side of Sin to get Rosie very low. He's just potting back up. They did get the stopwatch and both summoners, though.
Yeah, however, now they can't play at the turret.
Yep.
Because Rosie's always going to be the target. Tristana buffers, jumps, and like,
Yep.
it's actually just impossible to
Yeah,
get
that's
in
a
the
stupid
situation.
interaction, to be honest.
Yeah,
I hate that one.
I hate that as well.
If you blitzcrank hook a Tristana, she should not be able to jump away, but she can. Kuden was looking.
It certainly is.
Unfortunately, takes a few autos
Thoughts
to
on
the face.
Kuden's skin? Not a very used skin.
Yeah.
Blood, whatever, Tarek.
Nah, it's the try-hard skin. Everybody goes pink Tarek. Have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Pool party. I like pool party.
Oh, actually, no, I do like that one, yep. Puffs out his chest all game, and his recall animation, he's taking selfies. It's a banger.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's actually a real good skin.
Yep. Absolutely popping there. Unless you play for Legacy, of course, because they all just use green skins. Green Tarek.
Well, I like that Legacy players do that.
Yep. I do too. The green Braum Chroma is like the Legacy support skin. And it is so ugly. The only reason I accept it is because
of that.
Because of the color. Because it's green, because Legacy's green. That's the only reason.
Yeah, as we see, Juve's actually one more time invading. He's actually going to bring Cassiopeia over as well. Sleeping, looking for a ward. Needs to be careful here. He's just going to get auto-attacked by Juve. Is grounding going to come out? Yes, it is. Flash over the wall, and Sleeping is just going to die. What a great roam out of Bedoink.
Yeah, 100%. Huge play out of Sin Gaming there. No TP available. Does have the flash, but as you said, grounding inside the Cataclysm. Juves creates more terrain. Camille just can't go anywhere.
And I'm so surprised they got this combo again. Because, to me, this was all the proactive play coming out of Sin, was the fact that Juves could go in, and normally you just burn a flash. But Juves was getting kills because of the grounded within that Colosseum that he sets up.
Yep.
And this time will get them a first turret.
Yeah, looks like it. Seb was pottering up to the top side of the map, but Camille does not want to burn her TP.
Juves is like us, by the way.
Yeah.
He's like, I ganked your lane twice.
Yeah,
I gave you the kills. I'm taking turret gold.
That's my gold. But don't just sacrifice a bit of mid-priority for that one. Bombers looking at the bot side of the map right now. Wards do come out very defensive from Kuden, so they will know they're coming. However, they might have to back away from the turret anyway. But just like the same combo in the bot lane for Sin in game one, very difficult to dive. You have the invulnerability, you have the safety of those heals and shields, and the movement of Ezreal, very mobile champion. So,
not to mention, they only had a small window because they're actually not getting the priority in the wave at the moment. So they were building it up, stacking it, hoping to crash and take the turret. But Cassiopeia can just shove so quickly in that situation. So they only had a small window to do it. Now they will revisit. But in that time, Sin have been able to pick themselves up a Rift Herald, and they do the right thing. They just back away from the turret, potentially fire an ulti out of Ezreal to try and trim the wave.
Yep, no, it's just going to be too much damage to the turret. It's too low here. They do fire the ulti, pick up a few creeps, but they won't be able to defend it. Effectively, just opt in for the Rift Herald for turret trade. It's not first brick, so that's a fine trade for Sin to take. Seb started up that dragon, but that was never going to happen.
Yeah, especially if they value mid lane turret higher, right?
Yep.
If they're like, we were already like they locked in Janna, Tristana. The lane was going down eventually if we played standard. Instead, let's try and get access to this mid lane turret with the Rift Herald, or let's try and kill Sleeping in a side lane again, and then drop Rift Herald and just make the push all that more potent.
The Bombers bot lane are going to opt in for a recall here, so
not a CS advantage though. Is that good enough? Is taking a turret with jungle help at 11 minutes really what you want out of a Janna Tristana lane? Is it going to scale all that much better than Ezreal Taric to make the difference in the late game?
I mean, honestly, yes. Okay. I think it does scale significantly better, at least in the 2v2, right? Tristana Janna, very good, whereas I don't think Ezreal Taric is much of a combo, to be honest, in my eyes. I think it's hard to get a lot of value out of that, but once you talk about the proactivity from Sin, it's about the Taric-Jarvan combo. It's about that engage, and if they can make it work, then I think that's the big thing. Tiger, obviously, will ramp up, will be doing damage, and Rosie will be trying to keep those engages away from them, but as you said, so far, they should have had more proactivity in that lane. They should have had more pressure, but unfortunately, that early fight that went the way of Sin means they got not much of a lead from that laning phase.
But one more time, they're splitting the map. You can see Bombers first to the punch here. They are down 1,500 gold. That will be an Ezreal ult, not for minions, just to keep the turret a little bit more healthy. However, it's already half health, and they're not even in lanes anywhere.
Seb, posturing around the top side of the map. They're bringing up Luch as well. It's potential for another 4v2. Sin do have the Rift Herald, but Juice is doing Gromp right now, so the answer won't come quick enough. This might just be another free turret on the side of the Bombers.
Yeah, potentially will be a Mountain Drake or something like that picked up, or he'll just drop the Rift Herald bottom lane.
Yeah, he might be dropping it right now, just sitting in that bush. He is.
So they'll match this one. Wonder if he goes towards Dragon and just lets Rift Herald take the turret, or whether he wants to look for the kill again.
Bombers don't have vision on the Dragon, so he could. If Sleeping knew he was in a 1v1 versus Praedyth, he would be able to stop him here, I think, for the most part. We'll be able to proc that eye.
Praedyth is sitting on boots too, as well as Black Cleaver. I feel like at this stage of the game, he's all right to take the 1v1.
Yep. Oh, it'll be a 1v2, man. He's got a turret.
Oh, yeah. You let Shelly take care of that one, mate. I'll take care of the champ.
As they do, as you say, they do pick up the Mountain Drake. First Dragon of the game. So Shelly's still trying to get some work done, but Sleeping's going to kill him off. Kill her off, sorry.
And honestly, if this is Dream's plan in the game, that he's going to play weak side the whole time, all of a sudden the tier into Cull makes a lot more sense to me. They had one opportunity where they could have looked for a kill, weren't able to pick it up, and now they're just like, all right, cool, we scale in, boys.
Absolutely. The mid lane being threatened right now by the bot lane of Tiger and Rosie, but in all honesty, Janna and Tristana is not all too threatening for a Cassiopeia. There's no CC that they can proactively look for. You're just sitting there autoing away, Bedoink. If he lands that ulti, you have so much kill potential. So,
not to mention the fact that Janna's reset is like she stands in a direction in channels.
Yep.
Cassiopeia deals with that quite nicely, to be honest.
Hits you with the grounded, hits you with the ulti. You're facing the wrong way. That's going to hurt there. Nice ward into the Golem camp. Means that Sin do know where Seb is on the map right now.
So do you have to, like, you play a lot of Janna. You actually enjoy playing Janna, which a lot of people wouldn't know. Do you actively think about that? In this game, I have to be facing away when I ultimate?
Not really, no.
Because
if you're ulting, you're knocking her away. Yeah. The biggest thing is, for this game at least, as he lands a very nice tornado, is the ability to hold your tornado for that Jarvan engage. Okay. Or if you have to burn your ulti. Because if you have to burn your ulti as a disengage tool initially, and that you don't get to stand with low health members, actually.
Lane. Dream needs to run down here.
He might just be fine here. Maybe link up with Kuden.
Yep, we'll do so. Do-si-do. Run around the Rosie.
What are they doing?
They're going to split.
He can go over the wall. Does he have his E available?
Just look to,
Yep, he does. Oh, slow lands. Taric is here.
Oh, they flash forward, actually. Ultimate will be available as well. You're not killing Dream here, and the teleport is coming out. Maybe bit off more than they can choose. Ultimate is coming across as well. That will be a cancelled TP.
Oh. At the end of the day, they just burned the summoners there. Flash away from the Rise. Unfortunately for Sin, it was Bedoink that landed first.
Yeah, and that was an actual cancel from Sleeping.
Yep.
You can see that he was on top of him, and so he's going to get caught out a little bit here. Juve slowed down, however.
But this does give Sin control of the map right now, pushing in all their lanes except the bottom. Dream almost could turn around that engage on the top side, just playing a ring around the Rosie, around that fat wall there. But of course, Rosie on the Janna, not too threatening in the 1v1, so as soon as they split up, nothing he can do there.
And again today, I mean, maybe unfair comparison, and you can tell me if you think it is, but Dream is a young kid that took himself to Korea, obviously really wants to make this OPL thing work, but is currently on a one-split contract, is playing with Kuden, someone that hasn't had priority being picked up from OPL teams, as Juve potentially caught out. Flag drag goes through. What? That does not seem fair. They use so much in. Juves gets away.
I was talking about the Tristana Blitzcrank thing, but that looks almost worse. Buffers his flag and drag through the ulti from Seb. Unfortunately for him, gets denied that pickoff. Satchel goes down on the turret, but Juves is looking.
Juves ulti, they try and buffer it with a stun there as well. Tiger has to burn flash, as does Rosie. And this was my point. Dream and Kuden was not at the top of anyone's list as far as, you know, duos to watch this year were. However, against the import in Tiger and the veteran in Rosie, they look fine.
Yep. 100% agree with you there. But I mean, if you're comparing them to Rosie and Tiger, I don't think they're in the same boat, though. Yeah. Nobody's looking at those two. Oh.
At the moment,
again?
you see good engage coming out on Juice. Has to stopwatch, and that will be Sedge.
Oh!
Going down on the backside. That's a 2-for-1. In comes Sleeping, looking for a kill here. Maybe he will be able to save Seb. Actually, he will. He will flash out. And now, on the back end of that, grounding means he can't go anywhere off the back end of it. In comes Seb one more time. Just dies. And Luch is looking for this one, however, Bedoink playing so far up, so aggressive and well, and Sin take the team fight.
And once again, Bedoink is the MVP in these team fights for Sin. Multiple man stun onto Luch and Tiger. Both carries of the Bombers locked down, couldn't do anything. Sleeping comes in, picks up a cheeky kill onto Juves in the backside, but as you said, the grounder, does that mean he can't hop off the wall?
Yeah, so he can go to the wall. Yeah, he can't get back off. So let's take a look at it again.
Yeah, we see it again, and here comes the ulti right now. Praedyth knocks them back, but there we go. CC, Rosie trying to keep people alive, but unfortunately for him, he just can't. Luch really doesn't have an avenue into this fight. He can't 1v1 Bedoink too much with the rest of the members there. We want to see this one again. He gets stunned up, and he goes to the wall, and he just can't dash. He's just standing there, and Seb, I don't know what that was, man. That was something.
Have you seen Grandma's Boy?
No.
Damn
Is this a movie?
Yes.
Okay, no.
There's a part where a guy wears a black trench coat and goes up against a black wall. And people walk past and they're like, hey, dude. And he's like, how did they see me? That's what it just reminded me of. Camille just jumps on the wall and is like, I'm not here, guys. Leave me alone. And they're like, yeah, sorry, dude. We can still see you.
Yep, absolutely could there as he falls down.
We really got to do a movie night.
Yeah, okay. I mean, how many movies can you watch in a night? I feel like we need multiple.
I feel like what I got to do is I just got to
different movie
I got to come up with
day.
a compilation of like, I'll just show you the quotes. You don't need context. You just have to be able to say, I understand. And I'll feel better.
Just give me some homework, mate. Give me a movie every night to watch and I'll 2 times it through.
You can't 2 times movies, man.
Well, you can 2 times VODs.
You're just destroying the art that goes into it all.
No, I agree with you there. As we do have a bit of an advantage for Sin right now, sitting at around 3k. Baron spawning at 45 seconds. We've seen a lot of early Barons today. I feel like the meta dictates that games should be going longer, but we saw yesterday Tectonic taking an early one in their victory.
Yeah, well, I feel like also Oceanic teams don't like long games.
Yep, agree.
So I think there is a certain extent to these drafts where, like, Cassiopeia Jarvan, they're like, we're just going to run at people.
Yep.
Like,
let's have a battle.
Yeah. Korea can play their style of League of Legends. It's great. 40 minutes, no kills. Just it's like watching a game of chess. As Juves take that one away.
Yep.
Don't think that was the right call. But
yep, probably not. Maybe a mistake from there, but to be honest, Seb actually looking.
Cassiopeia, big ultimate. Sleeping will be able to turn around. Looking for the kidnap, will not be there. And in comes the Jarvan, and Sleeping will fall down. But Doink today is just playing some great League of Legends, and we'll actually get the grounded onto Seb. They're going to continue to chase through. Poison does not land, but knockup will. And this will be Seb also falling down. This will be Baron picked up potentially for Sin at, what, 20 minutes in?
Not to mention, Praedyth that whole time was soloing out the Dragon, wasn't even needed. But Doink in the 2v1 outplays the engage. He lives for long enough for the rest of his team to arrive. Juves, once he gets up there, they pick up those 2 kills, and this is going to be a Baron.
Yeah, this is a quick Baron as well. Ezreal gives attack speed to everyone. Cassio is the quickest Baron taker in the game. And goodbye, Baron. Sin in a commanding position.
Yeah, Bombers looking for that mid turret. It is fairly low. They do eventually get it with a satchel from Tiger, so consolation prize for them. But the gold lead spikes up to about 5,000 and the Baron buff over to Sin.
And I mean, we've seen it so many times in the OPL. We actually have some great Cassiopeia players.
Yep.
You know, Shock, very good Cassiopeia player. Ryoma, Swiffer. Now Bedoink. Ganking Cassiopeia is always a double-edged sword. Because if you can't kill her, her damage per second is just so high.
Yep. As a support player, that's the hardest one. If you're a Thresh and you run out of Cassiopeia, if that hook doesn't land, mate, if that doesn't land, you are gone. So 6-0 and 0. Bedoink finished his Archangels as well for that extra safety.
And Bedoink and Juves, not a duo that you would have highlighted. You know, he's played with people like Ryoma, people like Rymeister, but Bedoink is slotting into this dynamic duo.
Yep.
well as Praedyth looking to escape one more time the attack on the split push.
Yep.
Will be able to do so. And now that's a big wave that will be shoved in topside.
Luch is recalling, and Sleeping is probably going to follow soon after. They looked for the pick. They could not find it onto Praedyth, unfortunately for them, so they're going to have to match this one as it gets into their base. 5 members. Actually, no, only 4 members can be at the top side of the map for Sin. Praedyth doesn't have that TP, but neither does Sleeping for the next about 30 seconds, so Sin do back off. Just trying to push in all the waves right here.
And they're doing the right thing. They're balancing 2 waves without that teleport. They backed away from the turret. Praedyth comes over from bottom lane, looking to push that one in. Actually leaves the wave very deep, so it will slow push it and build up. So right now, even though it looks like they're playing top to mid, they can still play mid to bottom if they want to. And very nice setup out of Sin Gaming.
Yep, something to note. Kuden has actually not gone for the Zeeks this game. He's looking at the Knight's Vow, got half the components there. So switched it up in game 3.
That makes sense. Give it to Bedoing.
Yep. Yeah, actually, straight up, doing so much more damage. Ezreal has so much more safety than the Cassio. Speaking of,
Couple of turret shots.
Yeah, that's a value tornado. That's a half HP Cassio. We'll be able to spell that one back up, but
they just give this up. You can see right now that Camille is in the bottom lane. They've got the heals coming out right now, so the damage doesn't stick, and they're looking to push in. Praedyth is exhausted, so cannot engage. Oh, he's actually going to get chunked.
Praedyth takes a big brunt of damage there. Seb is really the only engaged tool out of the Bombers, but I mean, Rosie's landing these tornadoes. I feel like they should not be landing on the side of Sin. But they're going to lose a turret for it, and they could not break the base there. They hold mid.
Yeah, nicely done from the Bombers. I mean, they're falling behind. They're about 5,000 down in gold, but they're able to stave off that initial onslaught. 2 outer turrets is not a hefty price to pay for a 23-minute Baron, to be honest. You would want to crack the base or at least take all 3 down. See whether they're able to do it. A little bit of the duration still remaining. And now Bombers need to think about, can we pick an unfair fight? Can we gank the side lane? Can we get the 4v5 engage that we're looking for? Or can we stall out to the point where Tristana's range will become a very big problem for both Bedoink and Dream to deal with?
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like ganking the side lane should be entirely possible for this team. Luch can get there with the Realm Warp so easily, and they do have that Hextech ultimatum on Sleeping to lock someone down. Actually, Jude's going to face check Tiger and take literally no damage. Can he out-auto attack the Smite? He can. Oh, nice.
Oh, Rosie. That's a lot of damage.
Yep. It is, but as I was saying, they have the capacity. They can pick off the side laner right now, but Praedyth is playing so respectfully, very far back. They're about out of turret range, and Sin are already sieging this bottom lane inner. Both TPs are up for the top laners on their respective teams, so no Baron available, and they're sieging this inner as well.
See where they actually just try and dive Tiger here. You can see there is some support coming in. Jubes will walk up to the turret and just slap it.
Yep, Luch can't be there yet, but the wave is all dead. Tristana, Shiv procs, clearing out those waves very effectively. A few little autos on the turret, another tornado. Not going to land.
But the nice setup there from Rosie. You can see top side of the map, a little bit of a tussle between the top laners. There's actually a 2-level advantage right now for Praedyth, so not a fair fight.
Yep, absolutely not. You have to assume that the 1-4 Camille should not be winning that 1v1.
However, has built for the team fight, Praedyth.
Yep.
I feel like this is the evolution of Praedyth as he gets acclimatized to what Sin need out of him. Last year,
Sin? Team fight? Nah.
Last year probably would have seen a Frozen Mallet into maybe even a Phantom Dancer, and he would have been a lot more comfortable.
If anyone's going to build the Runans on Nah,
it'll be him.
It'll be the Praedyth.
Yep.
Yep. But obviously does not, as you note, has that Randuin's. Going back to finish his next item now. Dragon spawning in 50 seconds, potentially going to be the next pickup by Sin. Still about a 6,000 gold lead here. And they do have almost the entire map control. Only 1 inner turret alive for the Bombers, so they have very little safety outside of their base.
I think right now, Sin can wait, because they're going to hit level 16 on their carry so much quicker than what the Bombers are going to. Yep. They're going to definitely have it before the next Baron and the next Dragon is up, and that is just a huge deal for Praedyth as well as Bedoink. So I think they can afford to play this one a little bit more calm, a little bit more composed. The state of the game where Tristana outscales your team comp is still 15 minutes away.
Yep.
You do not need to rush this game whatsoever, so it's good to see them just backing off and paying respect.
Not to mention, we see the second timer come up on your screen. Baron in a minute 30, and this is a second Mountain Drake. If Sin can secure that one, as we see, the little Knight's Vow, the crown above Bedoink's head. So you're correcting your prediction. He's going to give it to the carry with 6 kills instead of the carry with 1. A wise choice, I would say. 100%.
But agree.
As I was saying, this Mountain Drake means that's 2. They already have the Casio and the Ezreal. You're noting how quick that Baron is. It's just even quicker here. So if they can set up that control, if they can get themselves a Baron buff once more, you have to think they'll be able to break the base with this one.
Not only that, you were mentioning yesterday that when you have a team that's not necessarily the best at sieging against a lot of wave clear, a Mountain Drake or 2 actually makes all the difference because the pop shots that you can get just mean so much more. So Dream, he's not going to be the most confident in approaching turrets, but with that Sheen proc, will do more damage.
That's it. Baron in 45 now. Because they did that Dragon, Bombers have all the control in the world on the top side of the map. TPs are still available because they have not been used in the last couple of minutes, but Sin contesting all the vision now, walking through, no blast plane available, so Bombers have got themselves a bit of a Fnatic push going on. They've actually jumped onto Praedyth.
Yeah, they certainly have, doing no damage at all because he has a Randuin's. I feel like if there is a game that Tiger has to prove his stock, it's this game. Ardent Sensor, 80 carry, has got double Zeal items, has a Janna for safety. I mean, he has taken all the farm off the map. He's got a 30 CS lead as well. I feel like right now, they actually look for the kidnap. TP coming in. That's going to be the big engage. However, they will not be able to catch them. Chase them out, however, and Baron is coming up.
That is a big 2-minute cooldown used on the side of Kuden. They don't have that Taric ulti available, but they do start the Baron anyway.
This guy dies so quickly. Only Seb can really get in. It is just going to be dead. Seb goes in and will not be able to get back out. He will fall down. Actually flings him back into the wall, and he just gets blown up. Tiger is dead. 2 members down for the Bombers. Sleeping just trying to grab this mid lane wave, but is it going to be enough?
And Seb falls down for free. Tiger jump gets cancelled by Praedyth. He had the flash. He could have just flash jumped away, but unfortunately for him, going to get whacked into the wall. He's going to die, and that's a big advantage for Sin with the Baron.
Yeah, it certainly is. You can see they send Sleeping back to the side lane. However, he doesn't have teleport. This is a desperate play. Praedyth will match it, and now after this wave, will just be able to join his team, and Sin can look to break the base.
I'm surprised Praedyth doesn't chase him down. He can force Camille to stick around here if he can stop the recall, but no. He's just going to pick up the wave. He does have that TP, as you say. Respawns are coming through on the side of the Bombers, but they're not going to be at the inhib for another 3 seconds.
And here we go. Teleport is used. This turret will fall down very quickly. Seb goes in looking for something. However, Bedoink is just absolutely smashing the Bombers lineup. They're going to be able to get onto Luch again. Turret will become the priority. Praedyth taking a lot of damage. They break the base. In goes Jukes. Gets the knock up onto Luch. That will be the grounded, and he will not be able to escape. However, just walks this one out. Continually to run forward is Bedoink. And honestly, wherever the Cassiopeia goes, Bombers members die.
And the engage looked all right from Seb. He got into the backline, but he just does not have the ulti. He can't rip anyone back. But Doink, as you said, doing so much damage. Rosie comes through with a nice disengage, but it's just not enough. They have to burn all of their cooldowns to keep them from dying. And they've got nothing left to defend the turrets. That's going to be the inhib down. Baron's still up for the lineup of Sin. They're going to take some more.
Yeah, certainly are. They're going to look to take that big bottom wave and start it from very far back and start to march it. It will have at least 2 cannon creeps by the time they get there. They actually decide not to. They say, you know what, maybe we go mid. Maybe we try and balance these waves a little bit better.
But Praedyth is in the mid lane now. He's going to pick up that wave, so no, they go back to the bot side. They just needed 4 members to take down that pesky golem blue buff. You know,
their cannon died.
Yep.
I actually think that given the wave clear, keeping cannons alive is probably an undervalued skill in League of Legends. Fortunately, that one no longer on the world. We weep for minions every day.
Well, Luch on the top side of the map now. Picking up that blue buff, so he won't be at this fight anytime soon. Has the cleanse, no TP. Just basing. So you have to assume, yep, Bombers are just going to give up this turret. Tiger, with his rapid proc, takes down 1 minion, but there's many more to come. So Sin going to pick this one up. And it feels like Seb has to get the engage off right now. He has no flash, so it's going to be very hard to stick to Dream, but he could potentially get onto the Casio. No flash on her.
Yeah, it honestly feels like Sin just need to back away, wait for that top lane wave and the mid lane wave to crash. Just give them no choices. Because they pushed out that top wave pretty decently. But however, that means it's going to probably bring an additional super creep when it does crash, so it'll take a little bit longer to deal with. And you can see that Sin, they're just bouncing back there. Not really got a care in the world right now as they don't get engaged on this. Actually, they are looking for Praedyth, and he'll be able to go Mega very soon. Will not be able to get him. Bottom side of the map will just fall down. Sure, they might kill Praedyth, or they might not as he goes golden, but they've just given up a second inhibitor, and Praedyth is still just running away. We'll be able to finally fall down. But Sin are in their base just looking to end the game. Tiger died somehow.
It just doesn't matter that Praedyth dies because he buys enough time for Sin to break the base. They kill that inhib. They're onto the Nexus. Seb.
And they have to go right now. Bedoink will get slapped back. However, stuns up Seb. And now Bedoink is just running down Rosie. There are so many super creeps. Invulnerability comes out and Sin pick up the 2-1.
What seemed like the easiest end to the game for Sin ever. Bombers commit way too much to the side lane. Praedyth sitting in the mid, and they just lose the game off it. Seems like they pulled the trigger on the wrong target there, 100%. They lose the game. Juves. Juves is pumped. He's looking good.
Juves should be pumped. This is a rookie team. Juves actually lives and breathes for Sin.
Absolutely.
And one of the founding members there. And he should be incredibly excited because this rookie team has just come in and taken care of business in what is a high-pressure game.
Yep. I mean, look, both these teams have been critiqued time and time again, week after week, but this is the first week that we get to see them face off against one another. So maybe right now they can't take on the Titans at the top of the ladder, but they have bested the Bombers here, 2-1 today.
And every week I say this about the Bombers. Normally when you watch teams play, you start answering questions.
Yep.
Every time I watch Bombers play, I honestly have more questions after the game.
Yep.
Of like, where is the proactive play? Like, I would love to see that replay of how the heck did Tiger die when they were pulling the trigger on the split pusher? And your job as the AD carry in that situation is get the heck, go stand in the Nexus.
Your team has decided to give up the inhib. As the AD carry, you're not going to be able to defend that one by yourself. Obviously, Sin got onto him somehow, but he lost them the game 100%.
And welcome to the OPL. Bedoink, a player that has been around in solo queue for so long. That is a breakout performance. You know, took a couple of weeks, but on the Cassiopeia, looked so comfortable. And with Juves, like, talk about people on the same page. Every single time Juves went in, Bedoink was there to follow up.
Yeah, 100%. You were highlighting that combo, the Jarvan and the Cassio and Champ Select, and they came up huge again game 3. Bedoink is a player that's been given or criticized, I guess, for a high variance. He can be good, but he can also be really bad. But this game was the stepping stone. He is looking good from this point onwards.
Yeah, it certainly was. We actually have that replay to show Tiger getting caught out in that last engage as we bring it up onto your screen. So as you can see, they're trying to get away from this. Juves clean.
E-flash, and he's dead. They're on the same page. They're on the same page. Bombers game 2 are not. Absolutely not. That's what we critique them for the entire game. But then Juves, clean EQ flash. Dream follows it up immediately. Insta-gibbed on the Tristana. Summoner's available, dead.
Yeah, I mean, he was like, Juves, what are you doing? You've just shorted that one. And Juves was like, mate,
hey, mate,
did you know I'm 6'4" and alpha male? And absolutely cleans up Tiger.
And also have a really big lance.
But
real big.
Fantastic performance now out of Sin. And I mean, this is a game that you can build off because all of a sudden Bombers, we were talking about them honestly as, you know, top 4, top 5 team.
Yeah.
Potentially being able to turn their season around at some point. Longer it goes, the harder it becomes. And now Sin, you know, they can think, you know, that 5th spot, that's all you have to be able to do, sneak into it. They've performed very well.
Yeah, 100%. And as I said, this has to be a stepping stone going from week to week now. They have that first win under the belt, and for such a young lineup, that is so important. They've had the taste of defeat week after week, and now they have the taste of victory. And I can tell you, Juves is not going to want to let that go, 100%. No way.
No, he certainly isn't. He's got his arms crossed. He's actually on our couch right now, so let's throw it over to Laura, who is alongside the victorious captain of Sin Gaming, Juves.
Thank you very much, guys. Yes, we are joined by the man of Sin itself, Juves. Congratulations on the win, first of all. 100% KP in the second game. You just missed out on the third game, though.
Oh,
I mean,
tragic.
Tragic.
Tragic. Needed to boost the PP points. Best GG.
Yeah. You've had some tough opening weeks with a rough schedule and a substitute for the first 2 weeks. How does it feel being able to come in and get your first win?
I knew that we always had the potential to win games. I think the problem for us right now is consistency, which happens when you replace 4 players on a new roster. And I guess I would say 3 of them are rookies. Like Kuden hasn't played OPL for a while. Yep. Dream's new. And Bedoink first time OPL. And it's just really enjoyable playing with a bunch of guys that just want to get better. And there's no egos, there's no nothing. It's just, yes, like we realize where we're at as a team and we're just each week trying to get better and better. And I guess this week we proved that we have gotten better.
How are you finding the solo laners? Because it's the Juves King first blood up in the top lane. Look, it hasn't changed, does it?
I guess I live my life by if I'm not going to get first blood, I'm going to give it. So it's like either I'm dying for first blood or I'm getting it. And I guess it's enough to win this one.
The Bombers were able to pick up game 1 though. But
it was
what
on me
happened?
actually, the first blood. Oh, no, yeah, in game 1. In game 1, they killed me for first blood. I was like, oh, no, tragic.
They picked up game 1, but what happened between game 1 and game 2 to reverse sweep the series?
I'm not even joking. I was in the room with the boys, and I said, guys, we're playing this game like we're too scared. No one is doing anything. We're all like, yeah, I need these items, I need this, I need that. I said, who cares? I said, I don't care about team comps next 2 games. I said, if we see a fight and I think we can fight, we're going to fight. And that's it. If we lose the game, I'll cop it on the chin. And
I like
and we just said, you know what? That's a good motto, Fido kind of brand.
I like it.
And we just,
I like it.
We just saw people in the river, and I was like, I'm going. And then I didn't even let them think about it. I just started screaming, come! If you don't come, I'm going to be angry. But it worked out. We just committed. We just committed as a team, as a 5-man, and it was good. It was good fun.
Someone else I wanted to ask is that you guys are giving them Rise. Is it because you're the Rise king and you know the counters? So you're getting the Cassiopeia under the Rise.
No one can play Rise like me on this server.
And that's why you give it to them, right?
Don't even pick it against me. Don't pick it against me.
Richard. Not even, you know the ins and outs.
Nah, so, maybe Tommy can pick it. That's it. I'll let him pick it after yesterday.
All right.
Juves, you and Sin both have some really passionate fans at home. Is there anything you'd like to say to them?
Yes, I want to say apologies for the first 2 to 3 weeks. We did verse Direwolves and Order, who are meant to be the 1 and 2 or 1 and 3, depending on where Big Doss sits in the ladder. But so it was a bit rough for us the first 2 weeks. Against Legacy, we had a sub, so that was unfortunate, and he did really well, our sub anyway, K-pop. It will get better each week, and we're just going to try and build on this week, and we're going to look to next week and try and win 2-0 this time.
We got you in week 6, so
week 6.
I want to see a good
I'm
one.
I'm leaving Rise open. I don't care.
Speaking of Order and the Direwolves, they're going up against each other next. Do you have a favourite to take that series out?
Yeah, look, I like FBI, and I've played with Rogue for 3 years. I like Rogue, but I'm tipping Direwolves. I think they're really good, and I think like Fantix. You think everyone thought Fantix might be missed, but I think Triple has filled the shoes really well.
He's just the next generation of Richard.
Basically next generation Fantix. That's what he is.
We'll have to see. But congratulations once again on the win. We're going to head to a short break, but when we get back, we're going to have the Direwolves go up against Order. Don't miss it.
Going down on the backside. That's a 2-for-1. In comes Sleeping, looking for a kill here. Maybe he will be able to save Seb. Actually, he will. He will flash out. And now, on the back end of that, grounding means he can't go anywhere off the back end of it. In comes Seb one more time. Just dies. Big ultimate. Sleeping will be able to turn around. Looking for the kidnap. Will not be there. And in comes the Jarvan, and Sleeping will fall down. Poison does not land, but knockup will. And this will be Seb also falling down. This will be Baron. Picked up potentially. Seb goes in and will not be able to get back out. He will fall down. Actually flings him back into the wall, and he just gets blown up. Tiger is dead. Seb goes in looking for something. However, Bedoink is just absolutely smashing the Bombers lineup. They're going to be able to get onto Luch again. Turret will become the priority. Praetor taking a lot of damage, and they have to go right now. Bedoink will get slapped back. However, stuns up Seb, and now Bedoink is just running down Rosie. There are so many super creeps. Invulnerability comes out, and Sin pick up a 2-1.